This podcast encourages and empowers you to create your own unique real story, develop your own unique real statement, and discover your own unique real self. The power is yours. Good morning, Eric Hunley. How are you doing on this wonderful, beautiful morning?
It's still early, but the day's here to stay.
Oh, love it. What part of the world are you in right now?
East Coast. I live in Hampton, and I'm working in Norfolk. I'm in Norfolk, Virginia right now.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, I was there for a bit. It was fun. I visited the library there. It was in a mall, Norfolk Library, in the mall. Are you familiar?
Oh, yeah, actually, Janif. I'm thinking that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It was super cool. I met some family there. And then, of course, the Navy is huge over there, right? But yeah.
All military, actually.
Yeah.
We have a lot of representation.
Yeah. And the coal mines. Well, I saw coals, like a lot of coals being shipped, right?
Well, we're a ship transport location, so you'll see piles of it that are going from here out because all the shipping.
Yeah. Sweet. All right, my friend. Well, do tell us, which of your talents is responsible for us connecting at this specific time in history?
Well, shockingly, I'd say it's podcasting.
Ooh, podcaster, family podcaster. Tell us about your podcast, please.
I host Unstructured, and it is an interview show, much like this one. And I interview a really wide variety of people. As a matter of fact, last night I just interviewed Chris Voss, who's a famous negotiator, top negotiator from the FBI.
Ooh, yeah. You know, I'm not sure if it's for you the same, but I love the fact that I haven't been strapped into having to interview one particular genre. And I'm calling the genres like, I speak to entrepreneurs or I speak to psychologists.
Sure.
Ooh, I love the variations.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, I'd agree. Of course, there's the other side who would say, yeah, you need to niche down if you really want to be successful.
Yeah. So I'll be successful in other things, but when it comes to conversations, I want to speak to as many people as possible. Definitely. So who did you learn that ability from to be able to, like to bob and weave between conversations with different individuals?
Well, it's funny because I'm relatively new at podcasting. It's only been the last year, but I'd say I'm an expert podcast listener. And maybe some of this I picked up through osmosis because I've listened to so many different interviews, different people, and I've learned a lot as I've gone. So I can pull some things out and say, wait, you're talking about this. Have you heard of Jonathan Haidt? Jonathan Haidt wrote about that.
And then memory seems to be a big part in what you do as well. You naturally remember certain things in conversations. Who did you learn that from?
Well, actually, my memory is terrible.
Oh, really?
But it is. I'm scrambling. I typically have notes of, up to 25 questions per interview, but I will throw them out as I go. So sometimes things pop in my head or I get inspired, or I'll remember at odd times, so I'll just fire a note in, like Jonathan Haidt, who I just used.
Yeah. Why will you continue to be that way? Oh, is it working for you or not working?
I'd say it's working. What I like about my method is that it's neither an interview or a dialogue, if that makes sense. There are two extremes. You have the interview, which is just locked down, Charlie Rose, whatever. You have your points. You're going to get in every one of them. Then you have a conversation like we're having now. Well, you're kind of a mix of both because these are pre-canned questions.
Yes.
I kind of mix it up in the sense that I have questions to go to if I want to move the conversation, but I have literally thrown them all out and just gone with the moment.
Love it. Yeah, definitely. I guess that comes back to Unstructured Podcast, right? It's the
right.
brand. Love it.
And there are no set questions. I don't ask the same question over and over, not intentionally. I create custom questions for every interviewer. Part of it is they have talking points. So that's my first list of what not to ask.
Yeah. I dislike when I see those. So you're doing this, and you do what? A daily, a weekly, a monthly show?
I'm at 2 episodes a week right now.
Sweet.
I was as high as 3 a week. I'm backed up to 2. I may go to 1. I'm not sure.
I think it's a good idea. I'm just putting it out there. It's just the content is so, it'll be so quality enriched that I would do 1 a week. I'm just sorry for suggesting.
No. I have a day job too, so they could probably help my mind.
Yeah, it'll put you in a great space as well. Yeah, for the next conversation. The more prep you can do for a conversation is going to be even more beautiful for those that are listening. I would think so. Definitely. Tell me one other thing that you've done consistently over the last 3 years, please.
Well, sadly, because of the podcast, the main thing I was doing consistently, I haven't done consistently, and that's running. I'm actually, my weight is up and I'm out of shape, so I have got to get back into that.
How does that make you feel, saying that?
How does it make me feel saying that? Sad, because I really want to do both. Again, it's more of that time. Another reason to maybe go to 1 a week. Maybe I can get more running back in.
Yeah, sure. And I think if you put that out to your listeners, they'll be glad to know it as well. Hey, folks, I'm moving to 1 a week because I want to get running. And then share that journey gently. Just, I'm running. Again, it'll be fun as well. It'll create interaction, connectivity. Definitely love it. Amazing audience. Again, we'll dive with Eric Hunley. He is the podcast host of the Unstructured podcast. Check that out. Eric, let's switch gears for a moment. Let me invite you into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm, blue Caribbean water. Eric, what is your earliest childhood memory?
This one you stymied me on because I don't have any really great childhood memories or specific ones. I have a lot of blurring. So the earliest thing I can think of is just standing in the kitchen, looking up at my mother, and the cabinets were very high. And I remember looking really up at her. And it was in the middle, kind of a late morning type of thing.
Why do you think this memory is so clear?
I'm not sure. Honestly, I'm not sure. It's just the earliest thing that I remember. Maybe it was just the feeling of the moment, the regularity.
How do you
sure it was every morning.
Sure. How do you see that memory connecting to who you are today? If you had to, just jump out there and attempt to connect that memory to who you are today, what would you say?
Well, it's hard to know from that memory, but probably I'm a very repetitive person. In terms of my life, I have patterns. I like to drive the same path. I like to do the same thing at the same times whenever I can, stuff like that.
Yeah. What really stuck out to me is from just you saying that and from our previous conversation right here is that it's important, isn't it? Like you said, no, my memory is terrible. It's really cool when you achieve patterns as a hack, if you would. To fit that, yeah. So it's really cool that you're doing that. The podcast provides that as well because we do a recording. It's pre-recorded, and then most times podcasters edit their podcast, and that means they're listening it like twice, 3 times again, and then they release it, and sometimes they'll listen to it 1 more time, right? That helps memory. It's that those are memory hacks in terms of improving your memory. So I'm liking how you understand what your challenge is, but at the same time, which is like looking up at the height of the cupboard, but then finding ways around reaching to the top. That's what I would say.
Listen to you. There's the hack.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, my friend. If we fast forward to when you were 12, what was your favorite song?
Okay. Men at Work, Down Under.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, love it. All right, my friend. Well, we've arrived at our destination, but before we get off of this time machine, there's a small declaration form. So it's yes or no. We're going to move pretty quickly here. Are you ready, Eric?
Sure.
Eric, have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
Yeah, anyone who asks.
Are you married?
I am.
Do you have children?
I do not.
Do you believe in God?
Uncertain.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
Not really.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
No.
How about 3 hours a week?
Probably 5 to 7 hours a week.
What about screen time? The phone and the computer, is it more than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
I have a lot of screen time. I work on computers, so 10 hours probably.
All right. Eric, if you had to share with us your own unique real statement, a statement that represents who you are, Eric Hunley, what would you say that is?
It's always stuck in my mind. If the shoe fits, throw it.
Explain that to me.
I don't like to be identified as one specific thing or to represent any particular character in somebody's mind.
If the shoe fits, throw it. I've never heard that before. Erico, this has been a great pleasure, my friend. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
Well, hey, thanks for doing this. I think it's very cool that you're reaching out to such a wide net, or using a wide net.
I appreciate it. Eric Hunley, again, this was such a great pleasure. Thank you for being on What is Inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones.
This segment has been brought to you by Amazel Enterprise.